My brother slacked off his entire life and doesn't have anything to show for it, and now my family is pressuring me to Photoshop a fake diploma for him. So, long story short, my 16M brother, 22M, doesn't have a diploma or any skills. He usually bounces between under-the-table jobs and being jobless. He doesn't have many opportunities, so he had the idea, or maybe another sibling suggested it, I don't know, that he'll just have me scan my older sister's high school diploma and Photoshop his name and what would have been his graduation year on there. All of my family is on board with this, except for me. At first, I argued that it was illegal, but then one of my sisters called me a hypocrite because I torrent programs and download music. I responded by saying that if anyone downloads music or torrents a program, they aren't allowed to criticize other illegal actions like murder or rape. She said that I can't compare that to photoshopping a diploma, but I was just giving an example. Since when did doing a small illegal thing become equivalent to condoning all illegal things? Anyway, that's beside the point. All my sisters kept telling me how I do nothing for the family, how they always do stuff for me, and that I need to do this for my brother, while my mother tries to guilt-trip me into doing it by saying, "Do it for me." I told my sister, "Why doesn't my brother just get his GED? I dropped out of high school last month and am close to getting my GED this month." She replied that my brother isn't mentally developed and that he can't simply do that. I then told her that he dropped out, so now he needs to face the consequences. She said that isn't fair because he was dropped on his head as a baby and isn't mentally developed. Okay, he is academically stupid because he never paid attention in school and makes horrible decisions, but he doesn't have a disability and is completely functional. Anyway, I should also note that I don't even like my brother. He constantly lies and steals, though on the bright side, as of recently, he hasn't stolen from anyone because he has a job and my mom sometimes gives him money, but despite that, just a few days ago, he took her credit card from her purse. Anyway, yeah, my brother and I don't get along. Fights between us are rare, but a month ago, we got into a huge fight. All my sisters and my mom tried getting between us, and I ended up pulling a knife on him. He said he was going to grape me. My other sister makes an argument that I have to do this because my brother does stuff for me. Like driving me to a college to take 2 of my GED tests. With my mother's car. With gas my mother filled. And then, when he picked me up, my mother went too, and she wanted to stop by 3 different places, and he cursed at her and told her to choose one place. Other things he has done for me include getting me a Publix sub with his food stamps a few weeks ago. And sometimes driving me to my friend's house, again, with my mother's car, which he always wastes the gas on immediately after dropping me off. He does my mom driving favors so he can get the car and give one of his friends rides. Anyway, my entire family keeps getting on my case, saying I have to do it. I keep hearing that I don't do anything for my family and that I don't benefit my family, from one of my sisters, and that they always do stuff for me. /relevant comments. Commenter. Having a high school diploma piece of paper thing doesn't mean that it's verifiable. Your family is laughably stupid to think that. It's likely that certain jobs and most definitely colleges/universities will verify a student's status or diploma or ask for transcripts of some sort. This is just such a bad idea. Don't do it, up. Commenter 2. Did everyone just miss the part where a 22-year-old man threatened to grape his 16-year-old brother, or that this family gets into knife fights? Op has much bigger problems than this stupid diploma issue. Update 1 day later. Well, I'll make this a quick update. After making the post and receiving a few comments where people said that my family was being stupid and it wouldn't work, I read them to one of my sisters and my mom. My sister and mother were surprised to hear that it wouldn't work and didn't know that background checks could figure out whether or not you graduated high school. Status quo has returned to normal, they've left me alone about it now. Today, when I looked at the post again, I was surprised to see that it had blown up quite a bit. I showed them the post a few hours after it was posted, so I was surprised to see it now has over 100 comments. The new comments address something that I feel needs to be clarified. Yes, my brother did threaten to grape me, but it was all trash talk. He got it from my 27-year-old brother, who always threatens to grape people. I just mentioned him saying that to me to show how much of a crappy brother he is and to further show why I don't want to do him any favors. I'm not actually worried that he'll grape me. As for me pulling a knife on him, yes, I did do that. We were in a physical fight, and he's 6 years older than me. I pulled a knife to even the odds. As for my family being stupid, well, yes, this was a lapse in judgment on my sister's and mother's part. My mother gets a pass because she doesn't know how background checks work and is a bit clueless when it comes to certain things. She didn't grow up in America. However, my sisters genuinely didn't know that background checks would show whether or not you graduated high school and thought that just having a physical copy would be enough to get you a job. Some comments did say that most jobs would be too lazy to confirm, so I guess they weren't completely off the mark. As for them being stupid, they're all smarter than me. My oldest sister graduated high school with a 4.0 GPA and is a year away from becoming a pharmacist. My other sister graduated with a 3.9 GPA and got her bachelor's in college a few years ago. And then my other sister, I know, I have 3 sisters, is incredibly intelligent and has more common sense than all my family combined. She just sided with my family because she's admittedly biased and likes ganging up on me. My brother, on the other hand, yeah, he's stupid. As for abuse in my family, yeah, my family is pretty abusive. My parents abused all my siblings but stopped around the time when I was like 4 or 5. My oldest siblings took over abusing us. My oldest sister stopped abusing us because not only did she move out, but by the time me and my other sister, the biased one, were in middle school, we could kick her backside. My oldest brother is still abusive, and that hasn't changed because my mother is an enabler and my dad is passive. He moved out a month ago, though it would suck if he returned. There isn't really abuse in my house at the moment. As for my 22-year-old brother, my mother enables him the most because parents will always protect their weakest child. I'd prefer if my mom would disown both my brothers, but it isn't going to happen. My family wouldn't be so bad if my 2 brothers were gone. For anyone who is curious, I do plan on cutting my brothers out of my life when I get older, but not the rest of my family. Anyway, I'm sorry for going off topic, I just needed to address some of the things said in the comments of the original post. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. The more you describe your family, the more it seems that a fraudulent diploma is the least of your problems. Get out while you can. Second update 3 months later. It's been 2 months since I posted the update on this entire problem. I know I said the situation was solved after I told my sisters about the posts, but apparently, it wasn't. Also, this update is a month and a half late, but better late than never. Okay, a few weeks after my first update was made, my brother applied for a job at an airport. I'm not sure what the job entailed, I'm pretty sure it's simple manual labor stuff. That's beside the point. So, to get this job, my brother needed to take a drug test and show proof that he had a diploma or GED. Even though the GED part came first, I'll start with the drug test part. My brother smokes weed a lot, so he had my oldest sister ask me to pee in a cleaned out eye drop bottle. I refused, so my sister had to be the one to do it. My brother's plan was to wear tight underwear and hide the eye drop bottle under his balls. The day he went to take the drug test, he chickened out and ended up using his own pee. He effing passed. He smokes weed almost every night. He must have had weed in his system. But he effing passed. Now, let's get to the GED part, which happened before the drug test. So, my brother lied to the man/lady/whoever was going to hire him and said that he had his GED. He was asked to bring in his diploma. I'm confused too. Everyone in the comments had said that places do background checks and no one asks to see the diploma. But they asked my brother to bring it the next day. So what happened that day? My mom and all 3 of my sisters ganged up on me to make him a fake GED on Photoshop. They said all I had to do was change the name on my GED that I earned and put his. It was one thing when they asked me to make him a fake high school diploma by putting his name on my sister's diploma. But this enraged me. I earned my GED, and it enraged me that they asked me to Photoshop his name on the GED that I earned. I yelled at my mom and sisters, and they left. They then tried again an hour later. They tried to bargain. My mom offered me $100 and said she'd buy me whatever food I wanted that day. My sisters said that I wouldn't even have to do it, and that all I had to do was teach them how to do it and also teach them how to get Photoshop. This went on for hours, they would leave and come back 20 or 30 minutes later. Finally, it was nighttime, and I just got sick of it. I said fine, I'll make it. I refused to use my own GED as a template, so I pulled a GED template off of Google, erased the name and date on the diploma using Photoshop, and added in his name and a different date. I also downloaded a diploma font for some of the text. I also Photoshopped our state seal onto the diploma because mine had one. The GED looked nothing like mine, and honestly, the text that was left on it was sort of blurry, while his name and the new date were more clear. I was kind of hoping for him to get called out and then get a felony for forgery or something like that. Anyway, my sister printed it out and got it laminated. He took it in. And he got the job. No background checks. Let me repeat, this is an airport job. Why was there no background check? Anyway, he went through the week of training and then officially started work. He quit on the second day because someone told him to pick up something, I think a cone, and he refused to do it. He told my parents that the man only told him to pick it up because he was racist. Now here I am, over a month and a half later. I honestly sort of forgot about all of this until today, when my oldest sister and I were talking. We were discussing my brother, and she was saying how he wasn't that bad while I was trash talking him. Suddenly, tons of terrible crap he has done came to mind, and I remembered the GED thing. I then said, hey, remember when you all spent hours trying to convince me to make him a fake GED so he could get a job, and then he quit 2 days later? And then she said, yeah, that was effed up. Then my other sister had the nerve to tell me, shut up, We all had to beg you like dogs to make it. So yeah, this update is more of a vent too. What my sister told me got me angry about this entire situation again. I also regret making that fake GED. I don't understand how he passed the drug test and how they didn't even do a background check. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. My family is so stable compared to this one, holy crap.